Hi, welcome back to this Tango lesson series. Um, my name is René Davila and I'm here through Tango Brillante DC, and I want to welcome everybody to this lesson today. Once again, as I usually do, I don't want to start this lesson without thanking you very much for all the support that we're having through all these crises that we're all going through. It's very interesting how this, although we cannot be together dancing, but we are still together doing so many interesting things. And one of those is the alternative music milonga that we have been doing for the last 20 weeks, I think, where we have been having these guest musicians. And it was a privilege to have Miguel Di Genova last Sunday, and it was a privilege, of course, to have all of you come into the milonga. It was such a very interesting event. I hope more people would have come to experience this very different interaction with the artists, which that's exactly what we have in mind when we have designed this virtual content for you. Once again, it's very important for us artists that you keep contributing, keep supporting us during this time. We are relying on that little much money that we can make in order to keep bringing people together, to keep bringing and producing tango stuff for you to enjoy. That said, let me jump into the lesson today. We're going to do a very interesting set of steps. These steps are not particularly difficult. This is basically what I love to call it, the basic step in the cross system. So I'm going to start as usual with the leader's role, and we're going to have that direction as our front. And what we're going to do is, right after the salida, we're going to count 8 steps for you to know this. So I'm going to take a side step. I can, if you're familiar with the basic steps, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 steps, you can do 1 with the right. The number 1 is not going anywhere. The number 1 is here, 1, 2. In this second step, I want you to feel that you have to raise your body, but from your core. That means that, see, I'm going to do it right in front of the camera. I arrive here. Look how I'm lifting my core. It's like I'm raising. I don't want you to think that you have to like go on your tippy toes, but it's stretching your body. It's like from here, you're creating a very nice and exposed movement. Right after that, we take side step, lift. I'm lifting not only my body, but I'm also lifting my dance partner. Whenever I lift my dance partner, that means that she is, or he is, going to be with one leg lingering in the air. In this case, is the left leg of the follower. And after that, I'm going to walk 1, 2, 3, 4. I lead the number 5, which is the crossing, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8. When I am doing this exercise all by myself, I want you to have the feeling of what I'm going to explain right now. I'm going to do it in front of the camera. When I go side step and then I lift my dance partner, well, the reason why I'm lifting her is because I need to switch my weight into the to my right foot so I can walk freely with the left. When I walk with the left, I'm going to try to go in the line of her left foot. That means right in front of my right foot. See how like my left foot is going right in front of my right foot. Then I'm going to go outside of her line of dancing. This is my number 1, 2. The number 3 is going to go in her line of dance. The number 4 in her line of dance. I'm going to lift her into the cross. Look, I'm going to do it from, because I cannot do it right in front of the camera, the whole thing. But say side, I lift, in, out, out, in, cross. 6, 7, and 8 of the basic. So what I am actually trying to do is I am walking in a cross system. What does it mean to walk in the cross system? And I'm going to explain that with Fred and Ginger here. Don't forget, this is the right leg of the follower. This is the left leg of the follower. So we're not doing the steps yet. In a regular step, in a regular system, which is called the parallel system, I am walking. Every time that I walk with my left foot, my dance partner walks with the right foot. If I walk with my right, then my dance partner walks with the left. That is what is called a parallel system, because the follower is doing a parallel movement as opposed to what I am doing. Okay? When we do cross system, that means that I am skipping one step, or I am making my dance partner skip one step, so we both walk with the right or the left foot. And that's exactly what is happening here. I'm asking you to start 1, 2. You lift, see, you're lifting the left leg of your dance partner and you're collecting your feet. And then you're walking with your left. At the same time, the follower is walking with the left. Okay, this is called a cross system walking. Okay, so here I like to call it in, because I'm walking in her line of dance. The next step is out. See how like I'm walking out her line of dance. The next step is going to be also out her line of dance. Here, because I need to lead the cross, I'm going to walk in, and then I lift her with my chest, so she does a cross, and then we come back to parallel system, 6, 7, and 8. Once again, from a different perspective, I am going to take a side step, I lift her, in, out. Sorry, let's start again, please. Side step, lift, in, out, out, in, cross, I come back, 6, 7, and 8. In order to lead this very interesting step, I want you to work a little bit. We're going to eventually come back to the sticks, but I want you to have the feeling of your dance partner. I'm going to exaggerate what I'm doing with my arms. I'm going to imagine that I am doing just a open embrace set of steps. I take her, 1, 2. Look how much I'm working here. I'm holding her up. And then I go in, out, out, in, cross. See, in the crossing, all my energy is going towards her left shoulder and I'm lifting. It's like, kind of like I want to lift her whole body and place everything that I'm lifting on her right shoulder. Boom, boom. And look how elongated I have my left leg. Boom. And right after that, I'm going to finish 6, 7, 8, my feet together. Let's do it from the other direction. Once again, my hands are holding her. I'm not crushing. I just want you to feel how you're going to lift in the moment of the lead. I start by doing a side step. I lift her up. I go in, out, out, in, cross, 6, 7, and 8. Whenever you're thinking about this in, out, out that I'm a little bit imposing to you, I want you to think, see, when I start dancing, the pillow, my dance partner, is right in front of my chest. Side, and I lift. Here, because I'm switching, I have to do an in step. I'm kind of like moving my hips, and my hips go away a little bit to do that in step. Here, in the next step, the out, I'm going away of her. In the next one, the same. I'm going away, but on the other side. However, in the next one, I go in, right in front of my foot. And then I take her to the crossing. That going in and then lift her body to do that crossing is what she's going to understand in order to feel that crossing and then keep walking into the ending of the step. After we do the crossing, you can do 6, 7, 8, which is the easiest way to exit. But provided that we already know a few things, I'm going to ask you to do there a couple of forward ochos. So the exercise today is going to happen like this. Side step, in, out, out, in, cross, forward ocho, 6, 7, and 8. That forward ocho is a little bit special because that forward ocho, you're not collecting your feet. I'm challenging your balance here, okay? I'm going to do it once again with the sticks. When you're practicing this exercise at home, just because here in my apartment, the space is a little bit limited, I cannot make longer steps. Whenever you're practicing this at home, if you have the space, try to make enormous steps. So you learn how to elongate, how to use your muscles, trying to do longer steps than what I am doing. I'm going to try to start as farther here as I can. So, side step. Very important in this side step, if you I'm not going to say exaggerate, but if you give a lot of energy to your side step and you end up here, see, her foot is not aligned with mine. So by the time that I lift her, she's going to be kind of like her axis, look at the axis of my dance partner is a little bit tilted. We don't want that. We want her axis to be straight in her right leg. So for that same reason, when I take her to the side step, I'm not going to give myself that much energy. I'm going to let her go. And then my foot is going to step right where she's stepping. Boom. After this, I lift. Her left leg is hanging. And then I'm going to go in, out, out, in. I'm going to cross. See, when I'm crossing, I'm switching my weight towards my right foot, and then I'm inviting to do a forward ocho. She comes with me, I switch my weight. I lead a pivot, and I switch my weight again, forward completely, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's do it from the other side. And here we go. Side step, I collect, I lift, in, out, out, in, crossing, I uncross, I create a space here for her to walk. Sometimes the lady is not going to feel that she's, see, if I don't create the space, she's not going to feel comfortable to walk over my foot. That's the reason why I have to switch my weight to my left foot. And then she's going to pass. I lead her the forward ocho, and then when she's walking, I switch my weight forward to be able to get ready to walk left forward, right to the side, and feet together. And that's it, what I want you to do. So, before I forget, things that I don't want you to forget when you're, let's do this again. Pay attention to what I am doing with the pillow, please. In, out, out, in, cross. I first uncross. See how, like, in the moment of the uncross, I'm moving my torso towards my left side before I switch my weight. Then I switch my weight to my left foot. I move my torso, and then I switch my weight again to my forward leg. That means my right leg. I lead her to come to in front of me again, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8. The idea here is that I would like you to stay all the time with your right foot forward and manage your balance with your feet apart, not with your feet together. It's a challenge, but the more that you control your weight from one foot to the other, I'm forcing the group of muscles that are controlling your balance to keep that axis all the time, because your axis is moving from one side to the other. When we move our axis, for example, when we're doing a side step, that is exactly what is happening. But I collect immediately, so I don't have to worry too much. In this case, well, when you walk forward and backwards, you're doing the same. You're switching your weight and your axis from one foot to the other. However, here you're moving it, and then you're going to move it back. Move it forward, move it back. This seems very simple to do, but is very difficult. Here, what I'm using in order to make it look very nice, I'm not using the joints of my knees. I'm just using the joints of my ankles and the joints of my hips. If I use my knees, the movement is not going to be that elegant. The movement is going to lack something. I'm going to use my knees, which is wrong. Don't do that. As opposed to if I use just the joints of my hips and the joints of my ankles, I finish here, I switch, I switch, I switch. This is helping me create a very strong and solid base for my axis. I don't have to think here. If I want to do it on the other side, the more you elongate this leg, meaning from your crotch to your toe, the more elegant you're going to look. I know that not everybody has the same flexibility. If you don't have that flexibility, especially in your ankles, try to stretch as far as you can. See, my toes are bent in this case, but still I'm having a very nice elongation in that leg. That is very important when you're doing these forward ochos. Another important thing here is that I'm going to do it in front of you. If for some reason you didn't catch it here, in the last time, in the last step before the crossing, before I start doing the forward ochos, I'm doing side, I lift, 1 in, 2 out, 3 out. This in is going right in front of my other foot. So if we count, side and lift, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. The number 4 is going, it must go in front of my other foot. What happens if I step here? The moment of the forward ocho, if I ask you to do this, switching your weight forward, the moment that you switch forward, see how I'm not really in front of my dance partner. I'm kind of like on my side already. The moment she walks, she's going to tilt me backwards because the energy is going kind of like in a diagonal line behind me. If you are right here, the moment, see how much control I have on both sides, as opposed to if my feet are far apart, I have control probably in the front, but in the moment that she steps back, I'm going to lose my balance. For that reason, feet in front of the other, I control on my left, I control on my right, control again on my left, 6, 7, 8, okay? It's very tempting after that 4-step 4, you leave number 5, you do the forward ocho, the other forward ocho, and after this it's very tempting to collect and then do 6, 7, 8 after that collection. The more you stay here, wait until she's ready to go, then it's, to me, is one of the most elegant steps for a leader to do. And if you're patient, for example, let's say 4, 5, I lead the 5, I lead forward ocho, another forward ocho, and look what I'm going to do with my foot. 6, 7, and 8. So that means that this is 5th, right? That leg can move like in a shape of a lapis, and then go 6, 7, 8. If you don't understand what a lapis is, if you don't understand how to do this movement, go back to previous lessons. We have done that before, and it's there. So you would like to practice that. So once again, this exercise is allowing you to practice what we already know, but in this case we are learning what is the difference of the parallel system and the cross system. Okay? Once again, gentlemen, if you have any question about these steps, please don't hesitate to contact me so I can clarify all your doubts. Now, let's do the followers roll. Okay, for you followers, there is nothing that I am going to add to this exercise other than a few embellishments at the very end. But this exercise, this set of steps, is designed for you to practice the way that you're walking backwards. Either you're doing an open embrace or a close embrace, I want you to try to reach as far as you can with your legs. That means that I want you to do a very nice elongation. The way that I would like you to try to do this is feeling the stretch of your leg, not in your hip joint, but starting in kind of like at the end of your ribs. What do I mean by that? See what you're doing? I'm going to, so you can see my feet, I'm going to tuck my pants in. Side step. After the side step, the leader is lifting you. So when you feel that lift, you're going to feel it like literally in your own chest. If you don't lift from your core, meaning that, see, I'm lifting my core by stretching my ankle. If you don't lift from there, the leader is going to, your body is going to look like this. If you just lift your upper body, this is going to feel like this. And we don't want that, okay? I want you to make sure, side step, lift, you're lifting, this leg is completely free to go. And then when the leader walks, before moving your core, your leg is elongating. See how stretched my leg is already. I'm not going anywhere, but I want you to feel how it is to do this elongation. For that, and before we continue to do this, I'm going to take this line, a diagonal line. I want you to practice the following. I'm going to just stretch my leg behind. I'm not going to stretch just behind, because if I do that behind, it's going to be most likely a diagonal line. I want you to make sure that you're crisscrossing your other leg, meaning, see, this is the line of my left leg. I'm going to cross that line. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to feel exactly what I was asking you to feel, that the line starts in my ribs and finishes in my toe. And only then I'm going to try to walk. I'm going to do the same thing with the other leg, but see, I'm caressing the ground. I stretch, and then I walk. Probably you already noticed that if I don't give myself an impulse, it doesn't feel like I'm walking. It feels like, it will look like I am a robot. Okay, that's not natural, that's not tasty, that's not an organic movement. Always think, whenever you're dancing, you have to create a movement that probably is requiring a lot of energy, a lot of muscle movements in your own body, but from the outside, the movement feels and looks completely easy, completely natural. There is nothing natural about these movements, but we're going to create these special effects to make these movements look like they are, oh my God, we all can do this, okay? So, going back to the set of steps, if I practice that elongation from my abdomen to my toes, this is going to look a little bit like this. Side step, the leader lifts you, and then you're going to feel the first step. See, my chest is with the leader. I'm going to wait until he pushes me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, we all know that when you're doing cross the crossing, or the number 5, whatever you want to call it, immediately you're switching your weight. So the right is ready to go. Here, the leader is going to invite you to go forward a step, another forward step, and you're going to finish 6, 7, 8 of the basic. Now, it feels like, okay, it's just walking, but I want you to realize all the beautiful things that just when you're walking you can do. Once again, I want you to just I want you to see what the leader is doing. Okay, don't connect with the feet of the leader, just follow this as a general information. Side step, he lifts you up, he switches his weight, he's going to walk with the left, in, out, out, in. Well, something went wrong there. Side, in, out, out, in, cross, forward ocho, forward ocho, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Like I have been telling you all these weeks, if you look at the leader's feet, you're going to get so very confused, that especially in these steps, because the leader is doing something completely, I mean, he's moving forward and you're going back, but he's doing something completely different. Because it's a cross system, he's doing something that you cannot control. You're never going to be able to catch up with him unless you know by heart his role and your role. I just want you to follow. I don't want you to learn this by heart. So when you know it, you know how to lead, you're going to have this wonderful taste. So let's do it just one more time with the sticks. Side step, in, out, in, out, in, cross, forward, forward, 6, 7, and 8. If we count the steps like I was asking the leaders to do, we're going to find out right after we do the side step. Side, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one forward ocho, another forward ocho, come back to the 5th, 6, 7, and 8. You already know a little bit better than this. So instead of just walking, I want you to be able to walk trying to do the following thing. Side step, walk and walk and walk and walk and cross and stop, embellishment, embellishment, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to do that part of the embellishment part by part. The first part, if I have this wonderful music today by Osvaldo Pugliese. A lot of people tell me, "Uy, René, why do you give people that are not very well trained in tango Osvaldo Pugliese?" To me, Osvaldo Pugliese is really clear in the beat, and that's exactly what I want you to practice with. The beat is telling you exactly when you have to make your steps. Now, that is one long beat after the other. Boom, 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 boom. If I divide that in two, I would have bum 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 bum. And I want you to feel that. Bum. He starts walking. Bum 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 bum. Doing it with the music does not exclusively depend on you as a follower. You have to wait for the leader to try to do this perfectly with the music. But you have your own parts. One of them is right after the crossing, the leader is asking you to do 1 forward ocho. There, don't rush it. The leader cannot move. If he tries to force you to go forward, he's going to lose his balance. A good leader is never going to risk that. He's going to try to hold it. So arrive here and slowly go with the melody. Ta-da! Ta-da-da! Now beat. Pam pam pam. Ram pam 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 pam. Okay? Now the embellishments are something that you decide when to do them. I gave you this example over and over again. To me, the embellishments are like your jewelry. When you're going to go outside and you have a nice event, most women that I know, they have a box where they put all their jewelry. And there you have pearls, you have diamonds, you have gold, you have silver, you have stones, multicolored stones, you have everything. If you use all your jewelry, you're going to look a little bit weird, right? You don't want to wear even, I mean, women are so very picky about this, that you don't want to wear diamonds and pearls. You don't want to wear silver and gold at the same time. The same thing is with your embellishments. I know that they enhance your movements. I know that because you're learning them, it feels very exciting to do all of them. But in this set of steps, I am actually asking you to do as many as possible. When you're dancing, try to limit them. Feel the music. Feel the lead. Make this connection, this human connection. Sometimes, like probably it might work. I don't know, if you're dancing, I don't know, Ricardo Tanturi, and the music is like lifting you up and you're so very happy, probably everything is going to work the way that I am doing tonight with this exercise. But if you're dancing, if the mood of the leader that you're dancing with is a little bit slower and you're dancing Carlos Di Sarli, probably it's not going to be the same. Okay, so once again, I am giving you the full 9 yards, completely overcrowded with a lot of things, just for you to practice, not because it's essential to do it that same way. At some point, I want you to decide which embellishments you want to do and when you want to do those embellishments. Okay? For now, if you're dancing, I'm going to do it with the pillow. Side step, the leader lifts you up. Try to stay in the same height of the leader. Feel, if this is a close embrace, you're going to feel how the leader is literally lifting you up. Okay? If you're dancing in an open embrace, you're going to feel that he's lifting you with his arms. But the thing is that you have to lift. When you lift, you're not only lifting your center. See, my hip goes up a little bit. So to have that leg completely free in the air, that leg needs to be like this. And I cannot achieve that if I don't use my oblique muscles to lift my hip bone. After that, I'm going to feel like the leader is pushing, like literally like a train. The energy of a train is guiding me. Boom, 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 boom. Here he lifts my leg in order to create the number 5. Here he untangles my leg. See, his only job is to untangle, is to pivot me a little bit. But I'm going to take that lead big because I want to do a planeo and then go up his leg and then caress his leg down, kick and walk. So we're in the 5th position. He moves me and I have to pivot. As he pivots me, I'm going to make sure that I pivot at least 90 degrees. I go up, down, kick. He leads me to the forward ocho now. I'm going to do another planeo here. I'm going to collect my feet, kick forward, walk, and arrive with him 6, 7, 8. In the 6, 7, 8 part, I also want you to see, you have done the kick. I'm going to go one by one a little bit later, but you have done the last kick, the kick. You walk forward, don't collect your feet immediately. Walk with your left and I'm going to leave my right foot behind me. I move my torso because that's what the leader is doing, and then my foot arrives a little bit later. I kind of let the leader move that foot that I am leaving behind. That ultimately, that movement, that leaving your foot behind is going to give your torso that feeling that you're doing a good job, because every time I leave my leg behind, I need to do a stretch in my abdomen and in my back. Up until you don't feel that, you're not going to be doing a good job. Planeo, kick back, kick forward, and embellishment on the leg of the leader. This is the left leg of the leader. When I arrive in the first part, in the first ocho, you're in a cross, right? And I'm asking to pivot 90 degrees. I arrive here. In order to collect my feet, I'm going to raise my center. That means that my standing leg is going to be raised. I keep raising. See how my heel is upwards? And then I'm going to make contact with his knee, and this leg is probably going to be here by now. I'm going to make contact with his knee, but I'm not going to let my heel go down. I go down with my foot, but my heel is still upwards. I arrive to the ground, and then in order to kick that first kick back, I'm going to kick using my thigh, meaning that I'm going to do this. If you don't move your thigh, the movement is going to look like this, which is completely different. That is not a very nice embellishment. You have to create a line here, and then kind of like that kick at the end is the embellishment. Boom. And after that, from up there, I'm going to walk forward. In the same situation as before, I'm going to try to do, I can do a curl, and then I lift, And then I'm going to go up and extending that leg, up, lifting my hip, my knee, and my heel of my standing leg, then drop the leg, not my center, and finally take the forward step. After this, I leave that leg behind me and finish 6, 7, and 8. If you're not familiar with the exercises I just did, this is just a refresh of what we have been doing. It's we're applying these movements that we already did in former lessons. We are applying, we're trying to play with them. I want you to see the other lessons. Probably, if you really want to practice this, watch from the first lesson if this is your first time here, so you have a very nice basis of how to do this. If not, refresh your memory, go back, probably it was the 4th lesson or 5th lesson, and then the lessons that we did prior to this. That means 2 and 3 weeks ago. Very important in order to practice these, the first part of the embellishments is that, let me find a very, well, my tablet doesn't want to cooperate, but we're going to do it with this song. We always have up, I'm sorry, down and up beat. Pum, pum, pum. Pum, 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 pum. The downbeat is the strong beat, the one that is making us walk. The upbeat is like pum, 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 right? So, in the very first exercise, I want you to try to do that. Pum, 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 pum. Now, once again, everything is in the quality of the execution of this embellishment. If I bend my knees, I'm going to look like this. It feels like something completely different. So, once again, I want you to stretch your leg behind you, and at the moment that you transfer your weight, the leg that is doing the embellishment is, see, right before you want to walk, it's completely elongated. My toes up in the sky, boom, boom, boom. If you don't have a good flexibility in your ankle, or you have some problem that is preventing your ankle to bend this way, you can do it the other way. See how I'm going to do it. Pum, 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 pum. In order for you to see, I'm doing it downbeat by downbeat. If I do it both down and up, it would be a little bit like this. Pum, 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 pum. Okay? Whatever works. The idea here is that your embellishments must go with the music. You have, during the embellishments, you have no help from the leader. So, if you try to rush the music, or if you delay the movement too much, it is not going to, I mean, it's called embellishment, but if you do it perfectly, if you don't do it like that, you know, it's going to look like a fancy movement, complicated movement, but if it's off the music, no one, not your partner, nobody is going to appreciate that. I suppose like when you do it, I don't know, even the Don Osvaldo Pugliese, that it's probably up there in the sky, he's probably saying, oh, what a beautiful embellishment, because that's like how I designed the music to be. try to be on the music, try to listen to the music. If you know how to do this already, practice it with the music. Pam pa ram pam pa ram pam pa ram pam pa ram pa ram pam pa ram pam ram pam pa ram pam ram pam pa ram pam pa ram. Okay? If you don't know how to do this yet, practice is not impossible. The first thing that you need to know is to control how you're moving your body. That is the secret. I mean, there are no secrets in the movement. You have to learn to move your body first in order to create other movements. Okay? Once again, like I said to the gentlemen or the leaders, if you have any question about this, send me a message to YouTube, send me a message on Messenger, send me a message on Facebook, however you want. But I need to know if you're understanding or if you have any doubt about this. I am willing to help you as much as I can. Okay? So don't hesitate to contact me if you need more information. Now let's go to the footwork part, which is very, very interesting. Okay, in this final part, we're going to try to make sure that our movements in our feet are trying to coordinate perfectly with this full set of steps. Don't forget that when I am showing this part, although I'm doing the exercise barefoot, you don't necessarily have to do it barefoot. I just want you to look at how my feet are working, what parts of my feet are working, what group of muscles are engaged in these exercises. I'm going to start first by the movement of the followers, and I am going to do a little bit of an exercise. When you're doing the embellishments that we were trying to do, the first thing that I want you to notice is that I want you to point and then place your heel on the ground. I'm going to do it on my side, but then I'm going to show you a routine that is very easy to do. My foot is right in front of the other foot. I point with my toe. I point with my heel. And I'm going to try to do that without bending my knees. Once again, this is not necessarily how you have to do these embellishments while you're dancing. You're going to find your way how you do it when you dance. But for now, try to feel what muscles you're using while you're doing this. See, this is determined, the length that I am practicing with is determined by the length of my own leg. So I don't want you to try to go too far, because it's not going to be, you're never going to be able to make the exercise happen. But I don't want you to be too close that you end up bending that knee. Elongate as much as you can. Elongate your ankle and then place the heel. When you're placing the heel, you have to feel the back of your knee completely elongated. Okay? Now, if I want to do this exercise a little bit meaningful, I'm going to step firmly. In this case, I'm starting with the left leg. I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Then I'm going to go to the side. 1, 2, 1, 2. When I'm doing it on the side, I'm opening the hip in order to make the heel touch the ground. I cannot do, see here I have to force my other leg because I have to lower that. Okay, so I'm going to go toe, heel, toe, heel. And in the same fashion, I'm going to try to do this. This is my line of dance, a diagonal line. I'm going to try to do it behind me. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. That rotation that you're, focus on my knee please. That rotation that you're doing, the rotation of 90 degree of, I'm focusing on my knee because I want you to see how that part of my body is rotating 90 degrees. So that rotation has to be experienced, felt, be aware inside your body all the time. And at the same time that you practice this, you're developing your own muscles to remember how to do this. I do that with the one foot. I'm going to do the same with the other. I do a few in the front. I go to the side. I play with it, and then I go behind. In the same way that I did on the side, I do behind me. That exercise, what basically is doing is making you dance with your feet. Your feet have to be very artistically. They have to move with grace. You cannot move your feet like this, or you cannot step like that, or take a side step like this, right? So even when you're going to start dancing, I'm always asking you to start with your heels together, like almost touching your feet. Most of the time you're wearing high heels, so make sure that your heels are right together. And whenever you're going to do a step, see, you start by dragging the side of your foot. When you arrive and you're going to collect, the same thing. Now, somebody was asking me, Rene, do we do, as followers, do we do lapis? You do a lapis, but that lapis is going in reverse. The exercise for the leaders was going to do, see, like this. What you're doing is you're bringing that same movement, but from behind to the front. Okay, so for now, that exercise, see, I'm going to just do forward ochos. 1, 2, 3. We have seen this many lessons ago, where we were doing these forward ochos. We were relaxing that leg, and we were arriving. Then I collect, I walk, and I go. Okay? That is the part where you do the embellishment that looks like a lapis, but in a reverse direction. Now, don't forget where is Fred. When you're going to do the caress on the leg of the leader, let's say I do the final part, I first arrive, then I have to raise my body a little bit. I raise my whole body, my knee, my hip, my feet, my heel of the standing leg, and then I go down only with my foot. My hip and my heel are going to remain upwards. From here, I'm going to kick and pass. So one more time, a little bit faster. Okay. Try to practice this. You can practice with a stick. You can practice with a chair. Right now, all I want you to feel is the elongation of your body upwards, not so much the outcome of the embellishment. The outcome of the embellishment comes only after a lot of practice. Then we have the kick back. See, the kick back is happening, this is a line of dance. The kick is happening after your leg is, you cannot arrive to the floor and then do the kick. This leg is a little bit bent, and from here I'm going to move my thigh. That is what is creating the kickback. There's a little secret here. If I go 1 inch down, look at this knee. If I bend my knee at the very end, I'm creating this illusion that I'm kicking a lot larger. Okay? And at the very end, see, the first part of that kickback is the lift of the leg. But then at the very end, I bend my knee and I am using my hamstrings to pull that foot towards my butt, towards my whole body. Okay? And at the very end, we're doing the embellishment, kicking, forward, first forward. Imagine that this has to be a horizontal line. Then you lift everything. You lift your hip, you lift your knee, you lift your toe, your heel, and then you lower just the foot. And then you keep dancing. So that placed a little bit together, it's going to feel like this. Now, whenever you want to practice this with the music, always count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Which is basically what we did today. When you do the only different kind of thing that we did today is the walking, doing the little taps. So every time that you're walking, even when you're going shopping, bum, 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 bum. It doesn't have to be perfect for now, but I want you to, when you do it at home, conscious of the exercise, most of the time you're walking back. So in this particular exercise, I want you to do it very nice and clearly. Stretching. When you go back, you stretch from your back, from your front to your toe. You transfer, you hit. You go, you transfer, you hit. Okay? And another thing that I wanted to share with the followers, if I didn't say this before, don't forget that the elements that you're using are right now. I'm giving you a lot. Not necessarily you have to use them all. Try to measure what you are going to do with them. Don't overcrowd your movements with embellishments. Right now, because you're learning, I'm giving you as many as I can. But when you dance socially, use them scarcely. One here, one there. Make it look like an embellishment, not just like part of your every move. Okay? Now for the leaders, very quickly, we didn't do anything dramatically special, but like I'm saying to the followers, we are dancing. When we dance, we have to move our body in a way that it not only looks nice, but it's like transferring a message through our body language, not only to the people that, not only to the person that I'm dancing with, but also to the people that are around me.
This doesn't mean that people are looking at you all the time, but you're generating energy, and people are collecting that energy. The person that is dancing next to you is generating that energy. The person that is, I mean, the couple that is dancing behind you are generating that energy. If you dance like an athlete, I would say, like with no feeling whatsoever, just the technical part and everything, it doesn't um, communicate anything. So by moving your body with grace in a very nice and clear way, you're communicating something. So when you start, you have to start with your feet together, never like this, never like this. Make sure that before you're going to go to the embrace, your feet are, you're feeling your the ball of your feet and the heels tight together. Make sure that your quadriceps are feeling the weight of your body, and your bite your I'm sorry, your butt is tight, and the lower part of your back needs to be completely flat. Okay, like you're pressing your organs against your spine. Only then you're going to have the perfect position to do whatever. And you know, the most elegant part of dancing tango is how, especially for us leaders, is how you're going to walk. If you walk lousily, forward walking, I'm talking about, if you walk lousily, the rest of the dance is not going to look interesting. Okay, so part of the signature of your style of dancing has to be the walking. In this case, I walk to the side, that's my front. I switch my weight. Look how I'm going to do it actually in front of the camera, because I need you to see how I'm making space. See how my foot remains coming towards the other foot in the same line, but my knee is looking to go a little bit together with or in front of the other knee. This idea is making me avoid the body or the right leg of my dance partner. Okay, so I'm going to take her into a side step. That first step needs to be in front of me. The next step is away of that line of dancing. That's the reason why I was asking you to go out. This is in, because it's in front of your leg, in her line of dancing. The next step goes a little bit away in a parallel line of dancing. The next one cannot go in this same lane. It cannot go in this lane. It has to go in a parallel lane. See? We're using 1, 2, 3 lanes. So third lane, and the next one is going in the same lane as my other foot. And then, only then, I can lead the number 5 or the crossing. From here, all I have to do is bring her into a first pivot her by moving my upper body, then inviting her to do a forward step, pivoting, moving my upper body, inviting her to do another forward step, and finish 6, 7, 8. In the last part, I'm going to do in front of you first. Very small steps. This is just for you to make sure that you understand the difference of the lines or the lanes that I'm doing. Sorry. Side step and up. I switch my weight. I walk in, out, out, in, cross, uncross, forward ocho, pivot, forward ocho, pivot in front of me. I finish 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to do it with longer steps from your left to your right. Side, I collect, I switch, and then look how I'm using my knees, and I'm transferring my whole weight to my right leg, stretching that leg, and the other, even the hip, is soft. I walk in, meaning in front of the other foot, in the same line of her left leg, out of my own foot, out of her line of dance, out on the other side, in. See how, like, in order to lead the crossing, I am moving not only my upper body, but I'm helping to move myself with the ankle, left ankle. Cross. All my weight is on my right foot. Okay? Now, from here, I uncross. Look how I'm going to move my feet in order to lead her into that forward ocho. Forward ocho. This one is holding the ground. I cannot let it sit there because I'm going to lose my balance. It's holding the ground, and then I pivot her here. I lead her into the forward ocho. I'm moving with her, and then I pivot her in front of me. And this is very, very elegant. I'm going to bring the number 6 of the basic. I'm going to bring it from behind me. 6, 7, and 8. If you have this posture, if you have this position, while you're making your dance partner dance in front of you, so you're completely frozen, but your partner is dancing in front of you, that makes you feel completely elegant as a leader. It's a very masculine, solid position. So that is exactly what I want. I want you to practice this. Very simple exercise to do this. I'm going to do it here. My weight right now is in between my feet. Now see how I'm going to transfer my weight, but using the muscles of my feet, my ankles, my toes, the sole of my feet. And let's do it. My hips have to be soft. I cannot do this with my hips tight. For that same reason, I want you to let the muscles of your glutes go a little bit. See how I'm going to switch. Here, I'm barely touching the ground on my right foot. I'm barely touching the ground with my toe. Most of the weight is held, is controlled by my quadriceps. Now, I switch again and I hold it. See how my whole leg, my left leg is completely elongated. Once again, I'm using all the muscles in my leg to make that straight line happen. And switch again. Whenever you're switching your weight forward, try to land with the heel. That is going to give you a little bit, because see here, my foot backs up a little bit. And then I have to elongate, 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 retrieve, and elongate. Okay? The same, we're not doing this exercise with the other leg, but it's very nice to find the symmetry in your own body. So try to practice this also with the other leg, because you're going to need it. As we did in the exercise last week, we did these movements all the time. This is going to be, I want you to think about this exercise, because this is going to be something that we're going to do in the future. It doesn't have to be completely static, completely stuck in just one direction. I can, every time that I switch my weight, I can always change my direction. Okay? Well, that was pretty much it for today. Thank you so very much for allowing me once again in your living room, in your bedrooms, in everywhere you want to dance tango. And now we know that we have realized that we can dance tango even in our bathtubs. Once again, I want to thank everybody for your support, for all the donations that you have been doing. Thank you for coming, all the people that came to the last week alternative virtual Milonga. It was such a pleasure to have Miguel and all the fun that we all had. I'm looking forward to the next one with a new musician, a new experience every time that we have a guest. And please don't hesitate to make any comments. Don't hesitate to contact me. If you have any comments about this lesson, please log on to the virtual Milonga later on at 7:30. I will be more than happy to answer all your questions that you may have about this lesson or other lessons that we did in the past. Okay? So I will see you in a bit. Let's keep dancing and doing tango. Thank you.